Good morning, folks. Welcome to another chip break. I just got back from the scraping class. Videos to come. Such an awesome time. I've got some projects on tap today. I need to get some organization done over here near the Haas. Jared's running some job shop stuff, and I'm coming real close to getting this thing, I think, nailed down. Today, I want to talk about business partnerships, why you should not go into one, or the information you need to be thinking about if you're considering one. I also want to first mention, see that banner right there for American Rotary? They are offering the chance for somebody to win a trip to our May 6th open house. Link in the video description. You can see the details and the rules. I think it's airfare and hotel. Pretty awesome of them to do it. They make phase converters. They were a big part of our story when we were back in New York, and really appreciate that gesture, and we're really excited for the open house. Business partnerships are a topic I'm pretty passionate about. I've been through 3 of them, and I've had very different experiences in them and very passionate views. I also went to Babson College, which is the #1 school in the country for entrepreneurship. And none of those things make me an expert, but I've been around the block a few times, and I've got, like I said, some pretty strong views on this. So the question is, why would you ever do a partnership? And I think most people come into a partnership because they want to go down this journey with somebody else. They want someone else's sweat equity, they want somebody else's vision, they want somebody else's skill sets, capital or money. And by all means, you know, the acronym that I like from Babson on entrepreneurship is ORT, O-R-T, opportunity, resource, and team. Opportunity is what's the product or what's the vision. Resources is money and assets and equipment and machines, and team is just that. What's the team of people, both inside your organization, employees and partners, as well as outside. So there are very legitimate reasons to want a partnership, and I don't dispute those. What I would challenge you with, and the reason I would say to avoid them, and look, your job as an entrepreneur is to take advice or listen to folks like me and others, and then you get to make your own decisions, because I'm not right always or ever, and I'm not necessarily right for you. But you need to be armed with the facts to make these decisions. I am going to recommend, if you're a business person, an entrepreneur, a Kickstarter guy, anybody, you need to go buy this book. Link in the video description. It is the best book I've ever read on basic small business stuff, written how you want to read it, from taxes to payroll to accounting to business to legal partnerships, period. So why not partnerships? Well, when I say that, mostly what I mean is no two-man 50-50 partnerships, because that is a recipe for disaster. It just doesn't work. And it doesn't work for 3 reasons: past, present, and future. The past means, what are you bringing to the table and your partner? What assets are you bringing? Are you poor or are you rich? How hungry are you? What are your motives for wanting to do this? What are you leaving? Are you leaving a job? Are you leaving another opportunity? Are you putting another side business on hold? And then in the present, how much sweat equity are you interested in contributing? And is that similar to your partner? What commitment is there? What other things do you have going on in your life? There's a big difference between somebody who's single and young versus married with a family. That's okay. That's a reality of the situation. What are those person's views on working? Are they somebody who wants to grind? You see these shows on Silicon Valley or Wall Street, and people work all ends of the day. Some people don't want that, and that's okay. But you've got to be on the same page there. And then the future. What do you want out of the company? What's your vision? Is it financial? Is it fulfilling? Is it some goal for a product? Very difficult, and I would say almost impossible, for people to be on the same page on all of those. And again, I'm not negating the fact that there's value from having a person on board. It's huge. In fact, entrepreneurship is really lonely, and I run this business now, no partners, and I wish I had a partner sometimes. I really do, but not worth it. You can read more, just Google, why should I not have a business partner? Or in the book, you know, Small Time Operator, they even talk about it there as well. So there's plenty of reasons why you shouldn't. And again, I remain on that side of the fence. Some differences would be, if it's a major endeavor, if you're raising millions of dollars, or you have a product that has millions of dollars in revenue potential, totally different. But guess what you're going to do? You're going to have multiple partners there. You're going to have a legal team or a legal, attorney or more than one attorney who's drafting documents. Totally different. And speaking of that, if you are going to do a 2-man partnership, I would say consider it not being 50-50. And that's a very difficult thing to do. There's no iteration that I can think of where you take turns voting, or all of a sudden it just goes to pot. You need to have a buy-sell agreement. You absolutely do. And here's the reason why partnerships don't work. Nobody wants to have that conversation. The analogy is a relationship. Let's say you've met this beautiful woman. You love her personality. You love everything about her. At what point, when this is all awesome, do you bring up, this is going to sound bad, but a prenup? Obviously, that's not until you're closer to getting married. But my point is, there's never a fun stage. There's never, because prenup contemplates that we're going to part ways. And that energy and momentum that's so critical to an entrepreneurial venture, it's so difficult to interrupt by saying, hey, we may not be in this together, so let's figure out how we're going to break up the company before we ever have any bad blood. Because it will happen. It statistically will happen. And if you want to watch this video and tell me it's not, I can't help you. If you do this with a friend as well, you should consider the friendship will be gone. I don't mean that in a bad way, but if the company fails, probably pretty easy to see why the friendship could be taxed or harmed. And if the business succeeds, the friendship can be lost. Because guess what? People have different goals and outcomes with success. Some people just want money and to move on. Some people get bored. Some people might want to sell the company. Others may want to stay on. Success, it can solve some problems. It can delay some problems. But let me tell you, it's also a reason for this to be a difficult thing. So I've got a bunch of little notes that I want to walk through in more nitty-gritty stuff. If you are considering any sort of a partnership, card here to our Patreon page. I've taken some time to write out some notes, including what I think is the eloquent, simple, perfect answer to a buy-sell agreement that you should absolutely have or consider, as well as some other specific tidbits of advice that I think are really important. Some other things. Number one, you have to be honest with yourself. Be honest about, do you like this person? Do you like this endeavor? Do you like this business? Do you like what you're doing? Do not lie to yourself or to others. I cannot emphasize, this comes back to Dale Carnegie's book on how to win friends and influence people. You have to be honest to the core about your passion and why you're doing this. If you want a partner, ask yourself, why do I need one? Can this be done without one? Remember, partners, in my opinion, are not employees. Yes, a person who is a partner may also act as an employee, but that was one of the downfalls of my first partnership. Was I was doing work as a partner, sort of thinking, being an entrepreneur, the vision, the strategy, the marketing, the sales, the high level stuff. And then I was also a laborer. I was also assembling stuff, machining stuff, shipping stuff, very, very labor employee type stuff. And that created the initial sort of source of tension there. So remember that a partner, if you want somebody, why do you want them? Do you want them because you just don't want to pay them? And you want them as a sweat equity partner? Well, I understand the merit of that, but it's not necessarily sustainable either. So can you do this alone? Not alone in the sense that you don't have others helping you. That's so important, but alone in terms of the partnership. You can also do partnerships that aren't 50-50. It's okay to potentially give somebody some profit sharing. I would encourage profit sharing over actual equity, because it just gets so complicated with actually giving somebody equity. And again, I'm talking about mostly small businesses, things like we do here, machine shops or small product companies. If you're starting a Pebble Kickstarter with, $10 million or $50 million in sales and venture capital, this is all a different conversation. But think about that. Why not have somebody be the 51% owner and then the leader, and you follow their vision, or vice versa? If you're not willing to do that, then I would say you aren't suited out to be a good partner with that person. Some people want to lead a company. Let me tell you, sometimes I wish I could take somebody else's lead, because leading isn't always easy. And then lastly, you've got to have an attorney and an accountant involved. And I hate to say this, but you do. It's just so important. And I'll give another example, which is crazy, that happened to me in a partnership where the operating agreement didn't necessarily allow for certain amounts or types of distributions. So what happened was the company earned money each year. It was an LLC, so it's a pass-through entity. And each year that company earned money, it made profit. Those profits stayed at the company. I owned a good portion of it, but I couldn't actually get that cash because there's no distribution rights, or complicated, but there weren't basically. So that money was held at the company. That stinks. Here I am putting time and effort and passion and labor into something where I can't even get the money. I own it, but I can't get it. Worse, you pay tax on it. It's called phantom income. So that flows through to my tax return. I pay the IRS every year, but I don't have any access to that money. So just one of the many little things. Again, read that book, Small Time Operator. Click on this Patreon link and read more about some of the things I think are appropriate if you are going to consider a partnership. Because again, I'm not necessarily saying you absolutely can't. I'm saying there's a lot of things you got to be aware of, and it's tough. It's really awkward to look at somebody that you respect and want to be involved in changing the world or bringing a product to market or this exciting, awesome thing, and saying, hey, this may not work out between us. Let's figure that out now. With that, folks, take care. See you soon.